So today we have very interesting event presenting a project that our Estonian colleagues already described when we visited them. Personally, I communicated to the developers of this project, and I believe that this project, of course, this is nothing like a global something, because many people here, they understand that any project must be global, must be of pan-global importance, but we just speaking about the mere project that tries to change situation, if the situation could be better, how this project could help this. And we're speaking, of course, about penitentiary facilities. This is a new morning project of Estonian colleagues, and the nature of this project is how to mitigate or how to overcome the complicated relations with convicted, with inmates, how to overcome this. But for instance, in my mind, it was very easy. You just wake up everybody, you count them, you have this head count, and that's it. For me, it was rather simple. Estonian guys, they told us how they apply this project, and I thought to myself, why not? Why not take the experience? Why not understand how we can help the situation with all that? How it could improve communication of the inmates, communication of convicted people between themselves and between them and the officers of the prison. So my pleasure to welcome Kaarel Krauss and Kristo. Kaarel is representative of a penitentiary college, law enforcement college, and Kristo, he is a representative of Tallinn prison. The project is implementing there. So they will tell us how they did it. They will share their thoughts, their understanding. And in my mind, speaking about the number of slides, I believe it will be up to 1 hour. And then we will have a chance to ask questions, to probably criticize, etc. My name's Andrei Galai. I am moderator of today meeting. So, Kaarel, the floor is yours. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hello. My name is Kaarel Krauss, and I'm a junior lecturer here at Estonian Academy of Security Sciences. Can you hear me? My picture just went off.
Yeah, we can
Yes, we hear you. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, but do you see the slides as well?
No slides.
Not yet.
As I understood, you will provide the slides in Ukrainian, am I right?
Yes, I'm waiting English slides from you.
Very good. So I believe everyone sees the slides as well. I have the slides in front of me in Ukrainian. So I will give you a brief overview about the project we did in Tallinn prison in this summer. And next slide, please. My presentation together with Kristo is in 3 parts. I will tell you how we prepared it, then about the implementation, and the final part is about results. I took those 3 parts as like 3 main topics or the cornerstones of this project. So if you could please put on the next slide, or even the 3rd slide, please. Yeah, let's start with the preparation. And this project began with a simple article. Beginning of the last year, we had the opportunity here in the academy to give out a specific issue in our scientific journal here in the academy. And this was focused on the prisons primarily. So my colleagues Ivo Kitsing, Siim Poll, and Enrico Muga wrote an article about analysis of the prisoners' daily schedule based on the principles of dynamic security. And they proposed the hypothesis that by adjusting the prison's daily schedule, it is possible to reduce the number of incidents occurring between 6 in the morning and 8:30, primarily through the application of dynamic security principles. So this was the first article, and from that article, we moved on to the public sector innovation project in where we wrote down initial project plan about how to implement this dynamic security in prison environment. Next slide, please. So during that, when we started writing the project, we put down point by point everything that we can change. So we wrote down our expectations for the project, and we said that with this project, maybe we can reduce the morning offenses committed by the inmates, as well as the number of complaints submitted by them. So we wanted to make a better environment in this one unit in Tallinn's prison. In addition, we thought that okay, one thing is get the numbers down, so we can measure it, but then there's this other thing about how to improve relationships between the inmates and the staff, prison staff, and maybe we can improve the relationships between inmates as well, one inmate with the other inmate. So making the environment, the prison environment, more positive. So those were the expectations for the project when we wrote down the plan. Next slide, please. So we wrote down a timeline. So how could we implement our plan into reality? So we wrote down 4 phases. They are on the screen as well. First phase was the preparation. I have the dates here as well. The biggest part of the preparation was communication with the prison leaders. Like we want to speak with, first of all, the director of the prison, what does he think about it. Then unit leaders, because at that time, beginning of the year, this year, we didn't have the test unit ready yet. So we chose the test unit according to the data. So we wanted to compare two units with each other. So the preparation part was all about communication to the director, communication to the unit leaders, and communication to entire prison staff. We don't speak about Tallinn's prison. We speak about all of Estonian prison service, all the staff members we have in Estonian prison service. We communicated about the project. The communication was we are planning to do it, and we hope you are all on board. And when we ask for some help, maybe you can help us or think along. So this was the first phase. Second phase, the training phase. So we wanted to prepare the test unit. So we trained the unit, we selected the unit, the test unit. It was Kristo's unit. Kristo will give his overview about the project in the later part of our presentation. But we wanted to train the staff members as well. The staff, we wanted to train them about dynamic security, communication, and give them all the details about our project. So when we started the project, we wanted to be in the same case that in the same page with the staff as we are. So they know exactly the same things as we know. So from there on, we moved to the trail phase, to the project phase. So we started the project on the 1st of May and ended it in the last day of July. We were next to the test unit in the first weeks. So we had the weekly meetings with the unit leader and monitored that is everything okay and how is it going. And we finished the project on 31st of July. And as you can see on the slide, last box is about summary and conclusions we present to the Estonian Prison Service in the latest of December of this year, within next month. So yeah. Okay, next slide, please. So here we have a lot of dates. This is all about the communication. So how much communication we did about the project team and the prison service or the staff, prison staff. So we wanted to give everything we know, that every person in Estonian prison service knows what this project is about and what we want to do during that. And as you can see on the second row, first line states that project presentation to the inmates. So we presented this project to the inmates as well. so that the inmates knew that what we are going to do with them and how their daily schedule is different from the previous one. So we wanted that everyone knows what is going to happen, and we can start with the project on schedule and end it on schedule as well. As you can see, we presented our findings and what pace we were moving to the entire prison staff. We posted news on the prison service intranet and even the INNO team. This is this public service innovation project, like name INNO team. They posted on social media as well that this project started, and they said that this is like really good project that started from this innovation project and went to the end phase, like the project really started. So this was the first part, preparation. This was everything we did on the paper and on the intranet and even on the Teams and Zoom meetings. But let's go on to the next slide. It's about implementation. Like, what did we change during the project? So, as I said, we changed the daily schedule. We started from the night, and the changes went on till 9 in the morning. So, next slide, please. Yeah, next slide.
Can we please interrupt you, Mr. Kaarel? We understand that our audience is carefully listening to your speech, so we've spent already 20 minutes, but we've not managed to get what is the core of this project, how this change of the daily schedule of inmates influence on them. What did it give, this project?
Yeah, this is the second part about implementation, what we changed. And as you see on the screen, the first change was during the night time. We move on. I will take you step by step what we changed in our prison environment. And as I said, the last part is about results. So about the implementation during the nighttime, the first column is about how it was. The night lights are on. This is like this low light. It's not really very bright. That when an officer is looking through cell peephole or a little window that we have on our doors, that he can see what the inmate is doing in the nighttime in his cell. Is he sleeping? Is he sitting behind the table or reading a book or whatever? So with this project, we turned the night lights off. So no lights during the nighttime. The nighttime started 10 o'clock in the evening, and the lights were just off. So we gave out some blindfolds for the inmates as well. I have statistics comes in later part. we gave out blindfolds that we know during May, June, and July. This is bright time in Estonia, and we have this saying that long days and short nights. So the dark time is really like narrow. So that's why we gave out the blindfolds that the inmates can sleep. And as you can see in the lower rows, we have this thing that we have to do every hour patrol. We have to patrol in every hour, so that we go behind every door, look inside the door that everything is fine. And as you can see on the left side that our officers have to look through the door for minimum 3 seconds so that they can see what the inmate is doing. But with the new approach, we took it away. The hourly patrols still stayed, so that the officer or the guard has to go into the section, but the main idea was not to look through the peephole in the cell door, but the main idea was situational awareness. This means a guard moves in silence, he doesn't make any sound, and he knows what is going on during the nighttime in his unit. But if needed, he will go behind a door, interact with the inmates if needed. Whatever the case is, I don't know, someone is watching TV loudly or calls for, I don't know, painkillers or something like that, then the guard responds to the specific cell door. So, as I said, the main point was about situational awareness, so that the guard knows what is going on. So, let's move on. Next slide, please. So our day usually started at 6 o'clock in the morning. The old schedule said that we have wake up at 6 o'clock, and we had this so-called alarm clock. It's like bird song, like the bird starts to sing. It's somewhat loud, works like an alarm clock. Then they have around 10 minutes for personal hygiene, and we start with meal service at 6 o'clock. So we give out the morning porridge for the inmates. This is how it was. With the new approach, there wasn't any alarm clock or wake-up call. We wanted to give the inmates the time to wake up on their own. We wanted to give the responsibility to them. During the time from 6 to 7, we wanted to have silence in the living unit. So all the inmates wake up, they stay in silence. So this was the main difference. Next slide, please. So 7 o'clock. How it was, we continued with meal, morning porridge. When the meal was given out, then they started to give out the morning medicine, like whatever medicine has been written out for the inmates. Our guards have to give out those medicine, and if needed, some inmate transfers to court, from cell to court, to work, to social activities, things like that. This is how it was. With the new approach, we started, we woke up the inmates with the cell door opening. So we opened the doors at 7 o'clock. We made noise with them. This is not we make big noise, but it's like some noise when you open the door. We said that this noise is like that alarm clock. So if the inmates weren't awake already when we opened the doors, we thought this is enough to wake the inmates. And when we opened the cell doors, then our guards did the head count as well. Usually our guards know who is in which cell. They know inmates by name. But the main idea was like numeral head count, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, so that every inmate is counted. And when the doors are opened, then at 7 o'clock or maybe a few minutes later, we started the meal service. We gave out morning food, the porridge, and the other stuff. And also, if needed, inmate transfers to court, to work, to social activities, to school, etc., if needed. And the last part is about the preparation for the shift change. So our night shift works till 8 o'clock, and at 8 o'clock, a daily shift comes in. So, next slide, please.
Mr. Kaarel, may we ask questions already just to get the general understanding of what you're talking about? So this question we have, I share how I hear you, what I understand.
Mm-hmm.
So you follow not the dormitory type of accommodations are for inmates, but like cells. The waking up time stayed the same, but it's not like in forced manner. You give some free time for inmates to wake up, and when they wake up, you do your counting, your opening cell doors at 7 o'clock and do the counting. At 6 o'clock, they had this formal time for waking up, but no one is forcing them to do it, right? So they decide on their own whether they have a willing to wake up, to stand up, or to get up or stay in bed. So from 6 to 7, no one disturbs them, right?
Right. So with this project, it's on their own. Do they wake up at 6 o'clock? There were some prisoners who woke up at 6 o'clock. Some woke up even earlier, but it's up to them. At 7 o'clock, we want them to be already awake. Do they wake up at 7 o'clock or 6 o'clock? It's up to them. So we wanted to give the responsibility to the prisoner. This was one point as well, that everything is not written down like how you should do it. Like this, we wanted to give the responsibility to the prisoner. Like you decide. You have the time for the personal hygiene. When you use it, it's up to you. We don't say it. Previously, we had it all written down like 6 to 6:10. It's time for your personal hygiene. So this is like the giving out the responsibility. Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. And second question, maybe you are to talk about it separately. You were talking that you changed your approach in how you do this early checking of inmates. Are you gonna speak about it in detail, or you can clarify
I will
this moment right
speak
now?
about it. It will come. It will come. So, but I will go on with my presentation. At the moment, we are at 8 o'clock. How it was that the night shift and the daily shift did like a detailed head count together. They did the head count for the whole unit, and the night shift didn't leave the prison before the counting was done. So during the count, they had to check if all the inmates were there. Were there any? Were they all in good health? And how is the technical situation of the cell? So they had to check every inmate and every cell. Our new approach, we didn't do. We pushed it out this detailed head count to what they did together. I will get to that, but when the daily shift arrived, the night shift only gave the information. What is the number of inmates and any other important information, like in that cell, this prisoner is like that and that, and that's it. And they went home. So with the new approach, that night shift went a bit easier. They don't have to do a morning head count. They only did the head count when they opened the door at 7 o'clock, but they don't have to do like detailed head count. And they didn't distribute medicine as well as they did it previously. So when we look at the table, then you can see that at 8 o'clock, the daily shift who just arrived to the work starts their day with medication distribution. And they give those medicine out at the unit doors. Before that, it was behind the cell door. So there are two different things, cell door and the unit door. When with the new approach, they distributed medication behind the unit door, then all the inmates could come freely and take their medicine. Before that, the card had to go from cell door to cell door. So this was the big difference as well. And after that, inmate assignments to different activities, this stayed the same. The main assignments to the activities took place between 8 and 9 o'clock. All the school, social programs, and going to the work, all those sendings were between 8 and 9 o'clock. Next slide, please. And maybe the biggest difference, in my opinion, is on this slide. So how it was at 9 o'clock, the day went on with their own specific roles. But with the new approach, the detailed head count started 9 o'clock, and it was only done by the daily shift. The night shift was long home and sleeping. So what we changed, we counted all the individuals, who were present at the unit. If the inmate was already at work or any activities, we didn't count him. We knew that he is working at the moment or is in school. We had already that information. So we counted all those individuals who were present at the living unit. So during the head count, all the inmates had to stay in their cells. Even if the doors were opened, they were not locked. They had to stay during the head count in their cells. Kristo can share if that was like that, or were there any disturbances as well? As much as I know, all the inmates stayed in the cell and there weren't any problems with that. So our main idea was that the head count can be conducted by anyone, a guard, contact person, or unit manager, or even director of the prison. So everyone could do it. And we did it by taking time. So we go into cell, we interact with the inmate. So the more we speak, the more proactive approach we take. Like maybe you have some problems, we can talk about that. Previously, the head count was like, let's do it fast because the night shift wants to go home. And this is my personal opinion. I think the quality went down with that. With the new approach, we had the time, we had the opportunity to interact, so the quality went up. So this was the biggest change, in my opinion, with this project. So we tried to interact with the inmate, but if an inmate didn't want to interact, some people just don't like to speak, then we didn't force him to speak. And after the counting was done, it's we have to report our results, our count results, to the duty officer. It was like that, it is like that, and probably it will be like that in the future as well. So we know that all the inmates are in the prison. No one's escaped. That's why. So with the last part is about medical transfers to the medical unit. So if inmate has an appointment with the doctor, then we start when the doctor arrives to the prison. When the times overlap with the head count, then we do the doctor's appointment, but officer who does this transfer with the inmate has to tell to the counting staff that this inmate is going to the doctor's appointment. So those were the implementation part and what we changed during that project. So we did change, I think, pretty much. It's a good change, I think. So let's go to the results part. Next slide, please. Maybe 2 slides. We can go on next, yeah. And yeah.
Kaarel, clarification question to you for our understanding, better understanding, means that if we take your previous approach to very formal, quick head count, for instance, we name Krauss here, Kaarel here, etc. So inmate to inmate. So it was very formal before. So inspectors, personnel just checked if everybody is in place, and that was it, full stop. But now you push this head count to later time, and it's not just a head count. This is an opportunity for you. It's not just a roll call. This is formal communication, of course, but so to my understanding, the same way you check the number of prisoners, and at the same time you communicate to them. Yes.
Yes, I will correct you a little bit. How it was before, it was a quicker way, but it wasn't quick way. So we had to do like check the inmate if he's okay. We had to check the technical situation of the cell, but because the night shift took place in this head count as well, then there was like this psychological pressure. Let's do it faster. So we took the night shift away with the new approach. We only have daily shift. You have the whole day in the prison environment. We don't have to hurry up nowhere. So that's where we took the time. Previously, some officers did interaction part as well, talk to the prisoners. But during that time, the night shift was like looking like, do it faster. I want to go home. So this is the main difference. So let's move on to the results. So we changed the morning schedule for 3 months. We planned it for a long time. Remember the article where I started today's presentation was almost 1.5 years ago when the project started and ended. So let's talk about the results. So we collected a little bit data. We collected about data about sleep quality because we had this hypothesis that better sleep quality means that we get along with the prisoners more positively. So we wanted that inmates logged their sleep quality. They gave their own marks like how well did I sleep? Did I sleep poorly or I slept very good? This was one part. Then we did inmate survey about interactions with prison staff and other inmates. What else we did? We did interviews. We interviewed the staff members and we interviewed 15 randomly selected inmates as well. So we can have their view presented as well. And the last two parts were about statistics. It's about number of incidents, because if you remember, our expectation was to reduce incidents. We'll see did it went down or it did not. And about complaints. Prisoners can write a formal complaint on the paper. Let's see, did that number went down or not? Next slide, please. So once again, our project took place from May to July in the 4th unit in Tallinn's prison. So we selected this unit by comparing data, and 4th unit was the most comparable, so to say. On the 1st of May, we began with the pilot. and we handed out blindfolds. 87% of inmates accepted them. Other 13% declined. I don't know why. Maybe they didn't like the blindfolds, or they already had the blindfolds. I don't know. At first, we thought that maybe they intentionally damaged those blindfolds, but during the first month, only 2 pairs needed replacement, and those were damaged. They just like word out. So in the middle of July, we collected preliminary data and presented that to the director of the prison, and asked the question, soon will be the August 1st. What will we do? Will we end the project, or will we go on with the changed morning schedule? And the director of the prison decided that we'll continue the pilot until the end of October. Currently, different work arrangements throughout the prison have been changed, positively influenced by the new morning project. So some parts of the changes are still present in the unit, but there have been some changes as well. Kristo later on will share about that. So next slide, please. The first thing was the survey about the questionnaire. It was like basic on the paper, answered the questions. On the next slide, you will see what questions were asked. And you can see the respondents. There's presented 2 units, fourth and the third one. The fourth unit is our test unit, and we compared our unit with the third unit. So you can see already in the beginning, our test unit was more responsive. They wanted to give their answers. They wanted to give their opinions. Next slide, please. In the questionnaire, we asked about different things. You can see on the slide as well what was asked in there, but you can see that this just numbers. What do those numbers mean? So the red ones and the orange ones mean that before the pilot and after the pilot, how did the answers shifted? So red and the orange ones means that the answers went more negatively, or maybe the inmates were a little bit more critical about their answers, and the green ones means that their answers, their average answers went in the positive way. So the highest answer with the average point was I'm afraid of unit staff. So this got the so-called highest score, which means that prisoners said that they are not afraid of prison staff. And in this table, the first 3 are also with the highest score. Average score is more than 75%. So this was like highly rated, and 4 of the lowest on this table were where the scores were the lowest. So when we compared 2 units, our test unit, the fourth unit, and the comparable unit, we saw that the fourth unit where we conducted this project, the responses were more higher in different areas. Maybe it was because of the unit, maybe it was because of the project, hard to say. But the overall well-being, communication with staff members, this was in general higher. So this is what the questionnaire survey showed us. So next slide, and we move on to the to this part where inmates log their sleep or did their sleep diaries. So there's a little bit Estonian as well. There's 5 groups. On the very left side is I didn't sleep at all. I slept badly. In the middle row is I slept poorly. The fourth row is I slept okay, good sleep. And the final one, the right one, is I slept very well. As you can see, both our units are really comparable. The red one is our test unit where we conducted the project. So a few slides ago, you saw that we got more responses from our test unit. That's why the red bar is higher. But the overall curve is the same. In the middle, it's higher, and on the edges, it's lower. This log was collected before the project, so it was, I believe, a week before we started the project, and we can see that inmates said that it's pretty similar about this sleep quality. Next slide, please. This is the first time when we collected the sleep diaries during the project. Here you can see that their opinion has shifted to more I slept okay. Previously, when it was in the middle, now it shifted to the right. And when we move to the next slide, please. This is the final collection when we collected the sleeping data. This shows the same result, that inmates said that I slept well, I slept good, is more higher than I slept poorly, in which you can see that the gray bar is from the comparable unit, says that I did not sleep well, and the curve is like higher on the middle, while on the test or the project unit, it shifted to the right side. So they said they are sleeping better. And next slide, please. Here you can see that the red one is our project unit, and green one is our comparable unit. That in the project unit, inmates on their own rated their sleep quality much better. In the end, on the very right end on this scale, you can see it goes down a little bit, because during the July we got hot weather, and conditions were a little bit like warmer than usual, so that's why it went a bit down. So we see that those changes, what we did, we switched off the night light, gave out the blindfolds, and the inmates had the opportunity to sleep a bit longer. They had an effect, because the starting point on this scale, you can see they started on the similar position, but our project unit slept better. Next slide, please. So here we have brought out some answers from prisoners as well, like what are the sleep disturbing factors? We asked them in a four-month period, April to July, like what are the things that disturb you during the night? And as you can see on the first row, it's light. In April, it was more than half of the inmates pointed out that it was too bright during the nighttime. That's why they couldn't sleep. While in June and July, this percentage was going like almost to zero. So they said that light does not disturb them. So here, as you can see, there are some other measurements as well. What we had some changes here was about guard movement, what went down, because in the other units, even in the comparable unit, they did so-called old approach, or how it was approach, while in our test unit, our guard during the nighttime only went to the middle of the section, and like I said, the main focus or main point was situational awareness. So they made less noise. So and yeah, this final row is about other, like this was like write on your own. What do you think? What are the other things that might disturb you? And they wrote down that ventilation might make some noise. As I said, during the July, it was hot, and our ventilation worked on like higher power and made some noise. And the other thing was when inmate from other cell went to the toilet and flushed the water, then he could hear that as well. So in general, about what we found out in this sleep diaries was that inmates in our test or project unit slept well, and there wasn't as much disturbances as it was before. So let's move on to the next slide, please. So we wanted to, one of our expectation was that we can reduce the requests from inmates. So as you can see on the table, we compared two units as well. So the blue one is our project unit. And what we saw is the requests or applications that the inmate can write went down on both ways. In the comparable unit, it went down, and in the project unit, it went down. So we can't say that our new approach did something good in there. Probably it was something that prison in general did, or in general changed something what is other than this project. So this expectation didn't hold when we look at this data. So let's move on to the next slide about the incidents. So in Tallinn prison, we have 5 units. The 5th unit is women, female unit, and the first 4 are for male inmates. So here you can see we have compared all 4 units, and our project unit is marked with this blue-green color. Did our incidents went down or not? They did not. So only 20 less than previous 3 months. So there wasn't any change on the statistics. But Kristo can tell you if there was any reason why it didn't change. So maybe it was 1 or 2 like this very conflicted inmates who produced half of the incidents. I don't know. He will tell us shortly about it. And I have 2 more slides left. It's about interviews. Next slide, please. We conducted interviews with inmates and collected their opinions as well. Next slide, please. So here are some quotes, what they said. Most of them said that, I don't care. Was it how it was? But there was some instances where inmates said that, yeah, it's much calmer. I can sleep well. My sleep quality went up. And there were like many inmates who said, I really like this new approach. But as always, there were some inmates who said that it's not for me, because I like to wake up 5 in the morning and I just sat behind my table and read a book. It was boring. But most of them who we interviewed said that, yeah, it's okay. I like this. It's good. And next slide, please. And we conducted interviews with the staff members as well. Like we wanted to see what do they think about this new approach, because it wasn't only the inmates' morning schedule that got changed. Our staff members, our guards, our case managers had to change with that as well. They said that they really love this night shift change, that you don't have to go behind every door. You don't have to check for each inmate. And they really loved that. Some staff members said that they felt like the inmates are calmer. They are more nicer, and it's easier to work with the inmates. So they are not so conflict inflated. Yeah, but as I said in the interviews with the inmates, it's the same with the staff members. There were some members who said, it's not for me. I like the old approach more. It is always like that. You like some of them like it, some of them don't. This was the last slide of my presentation, and with me is here somewhere in the Zoom environment the unit leader Kristo, whose unit we conducted this project, and we agreed that he will tell us how he felt about everything as a unit leader.
Yeah, hello, I'm here. My name is Kristo, and like Kaarel already said, that I'm the unit leader at Tallinn prison where this project was. First of all, I would like to mark up that Kaarel introduced that the number of incidents didn't go down, and in my opinion, it was one reason. We had here one inmate who produced in that time during the project uh, 80, approximately 18 incidents. It's quite a lot. If we are taking this away, then we can see that the number of incidents increased a lot. But in the beginning, I was pleased that our team had the opportunity to try in the new morning project. In my opinion, this project had several positive values, and I would even say that it embodied all the values of Estonian prison service. I believe that the project was well thought out and all necessary preparations were completed before its launch. Our staff received trainings, special trainings in academy. Every person in my unit had 4 8 hours trainings in academy, and like Kaarel already told, the project team visited every sector to speak with all inmates. We have in unit six different sectors, and in every sector there is 21 cells. And the project team went every sector and told about this project, what we're gonna change, why we're gonna change, and we let them to speak what they think about it and how we watched this, how they reacted. It was good to see that when the project team told them that we are going to switch off the lights nighttime, they was, I think this was the key, because all the time inmates always tell us that the night light is annoying them. And it was good to see that inmates listen at project team very carefully, and they, like I said, they are agreed, or they are don't want to how to say make a mess with this change. And after the meeting with inmates, we had to had to do some changes in project with some minor aspect change. And what else? At the start of the project, we had like 160 inmates and 25 officers in the unit. And in the beginning, there was some technical issues that needed to be resolved, and but those were quickly resolved. And during the project, we had to do some adjustments as well. For example, we had to change these morning escort times because it in the morning it went to rush a little bit, because inmates have to wake up, they have to eat, and already they have to went to the work, but we have to feed all the other inmates as well. In But yeah, I think overall the project have been successful. In my opinion, the impact of this project was not only improving sleep quality, it also enhanced the communication skills of the officers and increased the number of conversations between inmates and staff. For example, like in the first week, there was one inmate who didn't want to talk to staff very much. He was like a closed people, but I don't remember, was it in the third or fourth day where the guards come to me and tell that, whoa, this inmate started to talk and we had time to listen to them. And it was very, how to say, positive thing what Kaarel sees as well. When we began to be more in sectors and listen to them during the counts, they also started to share more about their real problems, which was good because it allowed us to support them more. Like Kaarel said, right now we have some how to say changes as well, but in the nighttime we don't go. We don't do the night patrol. We only go listen in sector, but we are not walking with to watch in every cell. But in the morning we are waking up at 6. But the cones are still with is still done together with breakfast, and in the daytime we have this how to say rule that we have to be in the sector at least 3 hours, and I think it's the impact of this change what was that we have to communicate with inmates more and more, and as I see and as I feel that if we are with them with the inmates more, the more they are talking with us and the more we can understand each other, which helps us to receive our goals.
Thank you, Mr. Kristo. We have many questions already from the Ukrainian attendees. I'll try to moderate these things, and I understand that our timing is limited and we are not to cover all these questions. Maybe we are to merge some of these questions, and so let's start working like in groups of questions. So don't be distracted. There are too many questions in the chat. Let me do this way. The first question is from me. I expect the statistics from you. So statistics about their states in this morning time, waking up time, which feelings they had, aggression, anger, or other feelings. And so it was, these feelings were before in the old approach. But when you did change your approach, you decreased the number of conflicts, of offenses, but you didn't provide any statistics about it. So is it true? Is it so that this project is fruitful in its results and in its influence on inmates? Why you think it is resultative, effective approach?
It's hard to say why the numbers didn't go down because as Kristo said and as I said about inmates and staff members' responses is that like the environment or general well-being went up, like it got better, but why it doesn't reflect in the numbers, it's hard to say. Like Kristo said that there are always some inmates who are like more into conflict and they produce like a big amount of incidents. So when we compare the old approach and the approach we took during the project, the main thing we saw, we didn't present that in today's presentation, is that, okay, the number of incidents stayed the same, but previously it spiked up at 8 o'clock when we had the head count time. So the most incidents took place at 8 o'clock. And with the new approach, it all smoothed up. Like the incidents were there, but there wasn't any spike. Like we can't say that we had more incidents in 7 o'clock or in 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. The movements were like really, really little, like small. So this is maybe when we talk about statistics and statistics in the incidents category. So yeah.
Okay, maybe I concentrated not on the proper message, but nevertheless. Okay, the second question again from the chat, and I will ask Kristo, because you are a practic. Did you have any skepticism in the first stage of this project? That they took it as a theoretical something, and it will not improvement. It will be just extra burden, extra load on the personnel. And if probably the opinion became more positive, more optimistic after the first stage of the project, the opinion of you and your personnel.
I didn't have any skepticism during the first phase of this project. Like I said, I saw this project has full preparations done, and if we went to the all sectors to speak with inmates, I saw that the inmates won't how to say make a mess or not going to fight against this project.
Okay, I understand your answer. Let's take the next question. This new approach in general, if it changes the emotional condition of the personnel, prison personnel, specifically in the guys whose shift is now on duty, means in their relations with the prisoners. If the emotional condition of the staff changed with this project, if it improved the emotional condition. Excuse me, guys, do you hear the interpreting?
Yeah, we hear you. The emotional state of our prison guards, I think it's regardless of the project, I think it's pretty good because I think that communication part with staff and the inmates was between them was in good level even before the project, but the project a little bit elevated this relationship even better. And I think when we talk about this like is it any burden to the staff's shoulders, then I believe no. Maybe Kristo can say something about it as well.
I think it wasn't, because how to say, they're well prepared for that. We are giving them more extra time to speak with the inmates, to communicate with the inmates, and we looked over the things they have to do. So uh, we are not taking anything, how to say, we are replacing things. They get time to communicate, but they did security stuff in other time.
Okay, thank you. One more question from chat. Let us imagine that you are questioned by somebody who is responsible for security, and this officer, in his mind, the fact that the light is being switched off in nighttime and the control procedures are shrinked, then it goes into the less security. For instance, inmates could have a fight in the night, they even could kill somebody in the night, but you only could react on that only in the morning. So, what will be your reaction if this practicing officer, security officer, will ask you about that?
Yeah, we discussed this situation with Kristo yesterday. That do we have any like incidents during the nighttime that where we can say that this project doesn't work? At the moment, we don't have any examples because we've seen in Estonian prisons that what happens during the nighttime, they are usually not noticed during the nighttime, and we find those situations in the morning. Doesn't matter if we do the hourly patrol behind every door or not. So at the moment we have this opportunity. Okay, the night light is switched off, but with the press of the button we can turn it on, like in any moment. We have those switches behind every cell door. We just push the button and we can see the bright light goes on and we can see what is going on inside the cell. This is the first point. And second point, like I said, the main focus or the main idea was about situational awareness, so that the guard who is working during the night time has to know what is going on in his unit. So when he hears some noise or screaming, he will react to that.
And I will maybe add the security is number one thing in our prison, and for like the old system we had, we did hourly patrol in every cell. Didn't avoid those kind of incident because the inmates knows that when we are here, then we have approximately 15 minutes to do something if we want to do with each other, and with the next hourly patrol we didn't notice it as well. But if we are how to say, doing it the new way, the situation is the same. And if the prisoner or inmate needs help, then he have to push the call button in his cells, and we are going there.
Thank you, Kristo. Thank you, Kaarel. Dear colleagues, we have some more questions in the chat. But for me not to occupy the entire the essay, then probably somebody else could ask questions. You just raise hand. You have a. Mhm. Okay, I'd like to ask my colleagues on the following. In principle, this project is very interesting. I'd like to try and do it practically. But my question to you is, are all the modes of keeping inmates in the prison good for this project? Means if this project could be applicable to all types of all modes of keeping the inmates. So to clarify for our Estonian colleagues, do you think that we have very so to say hard hard crimes and people who committed very grave crimes, will they as well could be covered with this your project or your new system? Kristo, what is in your opinion? Could it be applicable to the very, so to say, heavy criminals or repeated criminals convicted in very, very grave felonies?
I think yes, because in my unit there are some guys who have committed very, very serious crimes, and they are in very, very many times been in prison. And if you take this time to listen them and to try to understand and speak with them, then I see that it's impossible with even those kind of inmates, but you have to have more time and more how to say, yeah, overall more time to them.
I can add to that. I think it's not about what the crime is. It's about the behavior inside the prison. In our prison system, there have been instances that the most terrible crime is committed, but the guy is like normal guy. So it's all about how the prisoner is behaving in the prison environment. So if he's behaving like a normal person, then we can he can go on with this project. But if he's always on the fights and he can't get along with other inmates or staff members, then we will put him, for example, solitary confinement, or he stays in the cell all the time. So to implement this type of project, you have to have like this unit where inmates are like in open, how you say it, open. They can walk on open area inside their section. So doesn't matter what the crime is.
I understand you in the part of crimes. In the part of behavior, I will clarify. So you believe that people that are very fighty, so to say, or they often make certain incidents, or they are in this isolation ward. If I understood you correctly, you mean that those people that are very aggressive, they could not be covered by this project. Yeah.
Yes, because when they can't get along with the general population, then they can't take part of this this type of like project. They have to be in part of the general population, what we have in the prison environment.
Thank you. Good. Anybody else could ask a question? Good afternoon. We are colony number 96. First of all, I'd like to welcome Kaarel. Maybe you remember me. We were trained in Estonia. If you see me, yes, yeah. And after I came back to Ukraine from our practical training in our colony number 96, we introduced this system. And at present, we have wake-up time at 7 a.m. for our inmates, and it decreased tremendously the number of incidents or violations of our schedule. So it is much easier for them. The quality of sleeping is higher, and they commit much less violations. So this is a great experience from Estonia. So we introduced this experience in our colony number 96, and once again, we are dealing with very hard crimes here in our very so dynamics of incidents does not relate it to the grave or non-grave crimes. I tell you that probably the people that committed less serious crimes, they are more aggressive. They are violating more often. Thank you. Yeah, that was very interesting information. Can you please tell about your position? I am head of socio-psychological service in colony number 96. Thank you. Maybe for everybody of us Ukrainians, turn your attention that the issues of daily schedule, on one hand, it could be taken like a project, an initiative, a very complicated something. On the other hand, the schedule, this is under the responsibility of the director of prison or head of any prison facility. And again, if in certain indicators you see very positive results, then it's great. Specifically, if you take these indicators based on questionnaires or sleep quality shares, etc. I believe that everybody is interested that we have less incidents, less tension between the staff of a prison and inmates. Then, of course, it will be, we will then could concentrate on positive stuff, positive exercises with the inmates. Thank you. It was very nice feedback from this colony from Ukraine. We have a little time left. Maybe somebody could make a comments or ask questions to the participants.
So we are waiting for some other comments from our attendees. So we don't see any hands up in our chat, and no new questions. So this is to be then the closing moment before of our session. Before ending it, I'm gonna raise the last question, or I would love to clarify what you're gonna do next with this project. So what do you think about the results of this project? Are they positive or not? Are you gonna continue it in other units of Tallinn prison, or maybe you're gonna implement something else, or you like this project, this approach, and you're gonna implement it around Estonia? What can you say about it?
In general, I think this project went really well because, as my presentation showed, and I had this free part presentation when we talked about what we talked about, implementation, results, and the planning part. I think we did really good job. My project team was really good. I think it all started with the plan, and the plan was well executed. And I want to say big thank you to Kristo as well, because he jumped on board and the ship sailed on. I think it was really well executed. Yes, we hope that results were better. We hope to see that the incidents don't exist, and applications went down, but we didn't see that. And this is one part of doing projects and collecting data. As I said, and as Kristo said, that the Tallinn prison has went on with the new approaches, what Kristo introduced as well, and there were some parts of this our project, the New Morning project as well. So it showed us that we have to do those small projects that we can see that what works, what doesn't work. And the main picture is to take those good parts and implement it for the future, for this one unit, for this one prison, for the whole, when we talk about Estonian, the whole Estonian prison system. We know that this thing or this part of this thing works in Estonian prison system. We hope if we share our project and our results, maybe some parts of it will work in somewhere else, for example, in Ukraine as well, as where was it? The last one who spoke that they changed the morning wake up to the 7 o'clock and they felt the difference. It's a good difference. I think those projects, it doesn't have to be this New Morning project. Projects in general, we have to do them so we can see what works, what is the best practice. And I think we did it. And I think we can implement some parts of it, if not all of the parts, in the other prisons or in the other units as well.
Thank you, Mr. Kaarel. Once again, before summing up, I'm going to ask others about their questions or comments or feedbacks. Attendees, dear attendees of our event, is somebody of you willing to set a question? No, then we are to sum up. Before doing that, we would love to emphasize on the following. Dear colleagues, in this project, we have those items about changes in the daily schedule, daily routine, some procedures in the prison. From the other side, we managed to see how the communication changed, communication between the personnel and the inmates. From formal controlling mode, it changed to not a friendly mode, but more informal. So it boosted more conversations, more communications, more engagement. It boosted those who are adequate and who can interact, can set and questions and provide answers. Those who didn't want to get engaged into communication with officers, they could do it later. They could see that example on their inmates and then copy it later on. But this is all about dynamic safety, dear colleagues, for you to understand. We listened to the theory before, but this is the practical example from our Estonian colleagues. They showed us how and which tools we can use so to improve the communication, the dynamic safety, and how it can be fruitful to us. And to emphasize, yes, there are changes which can be implemented at the level of the institution about control, duties, procedures. So you have to plan everything. You can plan everything. You have to work at the higher level. You have to create some working team, project team who gonna work with the planning of the project, planning of changes in your institution. And after planning, you can try to implement your plans. Third, what I wanted to say is if you paid attention to one of the first slides at the beginning of this presentation of Kaarel Kristo showed us, we had the information about the trainings, publications, working meetings before the launch of the project. When we launch something, for you to understand, before doing this, we need to prepare, to get prepared that we need to do some methodology, to create some design, project design, to conduct different negotiations, meetings, to have some communications set, arranged with other persons, entities engaged. Maybe there is a need to have a meeting with some department, some board, some controlling board, then do it. It's needed. We have to remember that we are in Ukraine, and in Ukraine sometimes communication fails. And the last word to underline today, our webinar is not just a single time webinar. It is to be a session of webinars, of meetings, and it's the webinars for the representatives of different countries to join us and lead conversations with us. The video recording of the today event we have in Ukrainian and English, and in YouTube channel of the Penitentiary Academy. If to print their penitentiary conversations, you can find this webinar there in our YouTube channel, and many other interesting videos for you to learn, to watch, and to get new information from. If you don't have any feedback, any questions, any comments, I would love to express gratitude to our Estonian and Ukrainian colleagues and other colleagues, attendees from other countries who joined us today. We're happy that you're with us. Thank you for your efforts. You boosted up our database of our knowledge, so to say, and our skills. Thank you so much, and all the best to you.